Welcome to 30-day yoga challenge and the next video on the series. The topic for discussion is Chitta Shuddhi or purity of mind. I can't just tell you from my heart what pure mind is and what impure mind is. I need to have an authentic scripture which explains the same. And I take the help of an Upanishad called Brahma Bindopanishad that clearly defines what an impure mind is. It starts like this. Manahi Dividam Proktam. There are two types of mind. Shuddham cha Ashuddham evaja. Pure and impure. Ashuddham kama sangalpam, Shuddham kama virjidam. Pure mind, impure mind is filled with desires, while a pure mind is a mind that has absolutely no desires. This is the standard definition of Chitta Shuddhi, a mind which is filled with desires. There's one thing which is similar to this mentioned in Patanjali Yoga Sutra as well. In fact, there are two different things I'd like to explain. First is the definition of yoga as per Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Patanjali Yoga Sutra starts off like this. Atha yoga anushasanam. Yoga is explained. Yoga chitta vritti nidodha. Yoga is cessation of the mind from taking different modifications. In other words, chittam is one part of your mind that stores all your inherent desires. It's called vasanas. So I'll come to all those. So, and another part of Yoga Sutra mentions something very similar to what is mentioned in Brahma Bindopanishad, which is called Panchaklesha, 5 different reasons for misery, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra. They are avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha. Avidya is ignorance. Asmita is the feeling of doership, the feeling that I am doing it, makes my life miserable. Raga means interest towards pleasurable things, things that you like, things that you desire, things that makes your life pleasurable. Dvesha is things that you hate. And Abhinivesha is the fear of death. When you decide to link these two together, you'll understand that Raga is that which is mentioned in Brahma Bindopanishad. Ashuddham Kama Sangalpam, Shuddham Kama Varjidam. Kamam not just means Raga, it means a whole series of things that you seriously desire to. So, moving on to how these impurities came into your mind in the first place. There's an analogy given in yogic textbooks. Your mind is like a water body with bubbles sprouting up. These bubbles represent thoughts coming into your mind. At any instant, your mind is filled with thousands and thousands of thoughts. All these thoughts are stored in seed form in your chitta, a part of your mind. And what happens is, when these thoughts come in, there are two ways by which you will normally react. Either you will spend some time thinking about it. Imagine some person did some harm to you. A similar thought came into your mind and you'll start thinking, that guy, he did something very bad to me. He shouldn't have done this. Why did he do this? Next time when I get a chance, I'll repay back and things like that. You spend some time with the thought. And what is the next possible option? You might react to the thought. Okay. These are two possible options that you've got. Once you do any of these, the thought that came into your mind gathers a little strength and gathers a little energy and then goes back to your subconscious mind when you move into other things in life. What happens is, next time when the same thought comes over to your mind's forefront, what happens is you will react even more because it has gathered strength. So what is the option? How do you get rid of all these chain of thoughts that's coming into your forefront? The option is either to ignore, which is very hard. The second option is to replace this thought with another thought. Now, for ease of understanding, we can call an irritating thought a negative thought and a pleasurable thought a positive thought. There's absolutely nothing as negative and positive in one sense, but for ease of understanding, we are just naming it negative thought and positive thought. Imagine thoughts like anger, disgust, contempt, fear, all those can be termed negative, and thoughts like love, compassion, respect, all these can be termed as positive because it gives you a pleasurable experience. So, now what is the next step forward? You can either ignore it, which is very hard, which it is possible when you are into deep meditative state. When you are used to meditation, you can easily get rid of negative thoughts, ignore negative thoughts. If you are not that much into it, the next option is to replace this negative thought with a positive thought. The easiest method is chanting and thinking about the holy names of God and things like that. According to the tradition, if it's a Bhakti Yoga, it's very easy. If it's Jnana Yoga, you can think about the logic given in the text. If it's Raja Yoga, you can focus on your either breathing or some other technique that you use for meditation. If it's karma yoga, you can do it without expecting the fruits of action. Either way, what are you doing? You're trying to replace this negative thought with a positive thought. And what happens to thought that has come to your forefront? It will not gather strength. It just lose all its strength and it will go back into your subconscious again. And the next time when this pops up, it will be a little less intense. There's an example given by Swami Vivekananda. He said, imagine a husband and a wife fighting and quarreling over each other. And when the wife was about to shout on the top of her voice, a child came running to her, hugged her, and called her mother. And the anger towards the husband got replaced with the love towards the child. And the next time when the anger towards the husband pops up, it might not be as intense. So this is the process by which you can purify your mind. What is it that you want? You want to get rid of all the thoughts from your mental framework. It's very hard, so you replace all the negative thoughts with positive thoughts. And once you come to a level when you're filled with happiness, when you're really compassionate, then it's a lot easier for you to remove those positive thoughts as well and come to the initial definition of yoga, which is Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So this is a brief discussion about what mental purity is. So it was nice getting an opportunity to discuss about this whole topic. It has to be debated, it has to be discussed. There's a concept called Sthula Nikandana Nyaya. If you have a concept in mind, you need to discuss about it, you need to debate about it so that it becomes strong. The concept of Sthula Nikandana Nyaya is, imagine an iron pillar which is held firmly to the ground. If you want to make it stronger, you can just pull it and you can move the mud underneath, and then you can hit it harder so that it can go deeper and it will be held more firmly. Similar is the case with the knowledge that you have got. You can discuss over it, you can debate over this, you can have scriptural reference, you can have ideas from different people, experience from life, so that your knowledge will become strong enough so that it doesn't fall off very easily, and which will give you a lot of support in your life. So thanks a lot. May all beings be happy.